AM 560. The Answer.
He had a big old plane, the Lolita Express. Padded for the no
Hillary
Secret
Clinton wanted to
Service.
come out on
But
television
Tesla flew. That's why
and talk
he
about
didn't
the
kill
saint
himself.
who I couldn't help but notice. I said it the other day, didn't I, Squirrel, about how they touched up that scallywag's face? Remember when I said that? Pretty sure I did. Where was the cut of Rogan on that? I got a cut right here. It is.
Did you see what MSNBC did to his image?
Yeah. Where they gussied
Basically
it up?
did the opposite of what CNN did to me. You know, CNN during the COVID times turned me green, and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and just kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to MSNBC?
Less marketable?
Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face.
You can't
They
make
gave
this
him a
up.
little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like. They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah.
A little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, they
they
did.
did.
News.
They shrunk his nose.
Yeah.
Gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like an
They even
American.
made him, if you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there a bit.
You know why, Squirrel? Communists, you could look at this throughout history, from Lenin, Stalin, go to Karl Marx. They're ugly. It is the political philosophy of the grotesque, because they're repulsive inside and out to be a communist, to take the kind of philosophy that destroys areas, not only that taxes people for breathing.
Here's a list of the many tax increases and proposals Democrats in Virginia are considering passing. They include additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, new personal property tax on electric leaf blowers and electric landscaping equipment, large employer tax, gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax. This would hit you if you make an order on Amazon.
So nobody would vote for this, Squirrel, but it doesn't matter. They have perfected stealing election. After all, they got an 80-year-old dimwit, a thief for 50 years, a fraud, laughed off the stage in the 80s. I remember it well, because back then he was just a plagiarist. But that's when his brother and his sister, they were only worth 60, 70 million from stealing policies, from being assets to bribery. I think Hunter was still in college doing rails. He then perfected it. And it comes out, here's a clip from 2021. 2021, I believe.
I have to say that we haven't been briefed yet by our county attorneys, but we have spent millions of dollars in outside legal counsel to fight anybody from ever seeing the actual election materials, the actual ballots.
Why would they spend millions? By the way, this woman, her name is Thorne. She was a Republican that was outraged that they were spending that money to hire lawyers so they could hide the prima facie evidence of election fraud and theft, just like in Wisconsin. More votes than they had registered voters. And that's how they operate. They're not going to risk it. After all, we're talking trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Are there still people dumb enough to vote for Democrats outside of Chicago? That's the real question. I don't know the answer. Roberto, Bloomingdale.
Hey, Sean. How you doing tonight?
Wonderful. Little upset.
Good. You know, you're going back to Silky G and all that stuff. It's a shame that you got to pay, how people forget about what happened at Pearl Harbor and September 11, 2001. Now you pay $45, you get on a plane, it doesn't matter. What do you think?
Oh, you're talking about the real idea? Of course, everything's a money grab. Everything is a money grab. That's the point of the show. It's a money grab. It's always to make you poorer. That's what socialism, communism, American Democrats and Marxists do. They want you poor, because look at Chicago. Chicago's an anomaly. It really is fantastic. I got rid of Brandon Johnson from my board because I'm sick and tired of hearing his rat voice lecturing us after he never did anything except figure out how to buy a $6,500 suit when he couldn't make his payment. They talk about schools and taxes and invest. Prof mentioned it this morning, but it's a well-known story. Frederick Douglass Academy High School. It turns out in 1994, they spent $93,000. I'm sorry, did I say 1994? In 2024. Oh, how's that for a Freudian slip? In 2024, this high school spent $93,000 on the student. One student, $93,000 per student. Now, lucky for you, there isn't that many students, but it doesn't matter. Not one could read at grade level. Not one. And you're going to let these imbeciles pretend that they're going to educate your kids, provide for health care. You can't fill a pothole. You can't issue a fracking driver's license. You cannot govern yourselves. And the other thing is, they're clearly simpletons. They're suckers for every scam out there. Here's little tiny Dick Durbin.
This weekend, federal agents gunned down yet another American in Minneapolis, Alex Preddy, a 37-year-old ICU nurse at a VA hospital in Minneapolis. I'm going to show a photo of that scene, which is graphic, but I'm afraid is necessary to appreciate the horror of the moment.
By the way, he sounds like he's not going to make it to Sunday. He always sounded like he was dead. Now, I don't think he makes it to Sunday. Put $20 on not making it to Monday, squirrel.
This photo shows the last second before the ICE agent killed Alex Preddy on the streets of Minneapolis.
No, he's in the Senate. He's in the, what do they call it, the well swirl? They get up there in their costume, Brooks Brothers, and he's talking to nobody. But it looks good for campaign and whatnot. The problem with this picture is it's fake. Completely fake. AI generated. It's almost like the stats for Obamacare. Lower your premiums, bring up the quality. These fracking moron Democrats, they'll say anything.
In his right hand is his camera, left hand holding the ground. No gun, obvious. No effort to resist, obvious. This was a moment when...
But you didn't mention the real horrific fact in that picture. The ICE agent doesn't have a head. His head's missing, you stupid son of a dog. Fracking moron Democrat.